Joe Rogan likes to pretend that he's right down the middle, that he doesn't like both sides. He's got criticisms, he's got ideas, he's just asking questions. But nothing more quickly reveals that he is a billionaire bootlicker who will always stand up for MAGA than when Elon Musk gets criticized. Then he is always ready and willing to jump to his defense. And that is exactly what we saw in a bit of a tantrum after Elon Musk was correctly called the stupidest billionaire that AOC has ever met. It made Rogan furious. I'm sure Elon's upset too. We're going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we get into Joe Rogan's temper tantrum, of course, we have to hear from AOC.
So, if you're making $28,000, they want you to be paying way more in taxes, especially proportionately, than if you're making $150,000. But they are proposing all of our taxes to go up. That's one way. But guess what? That's not going to that doesn't make up the difference. It may make up a small bit, but it doesn't make up the difference. $4 trillion, you are not going to make that by taxing people who make $28,000 a year a little bit more. Doesn't make it up. Math doesn't square. So they're going to do that, but it's not enough. The second thing that they're going to go after are massive programming cuts, or the massive programming cuts, which we will get to in a minute. And the third thing that they propose is cutting waste. First of all, they tell you all of these stories about waste and government waste and Doge and whatever. First and foremost, understand that there is already a federal agency who is a watchdog on waste in the United States. That is known as the Government Accountability Office. So all of these people acting like, oh, we're going to set up an agency to identify waste, as though that's never been an idea before, take a number. These people, and I can tell you, in my experience, I have encountered many billionaires in my career. You all have seen many of those encounters in hearings, in other, forms of questioning, etc. I can tell you that this dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met or seen or witnessed. Which, you can probably even glean that from watching these people on TV. Anyways, all of that is to say is that they don't do their homework. Clearly, they're putting 19-year-olds in at the Treasury. This dude is not smart. And the danger in the lack of intelligence and the lack of expertise that Elon has. I mean, this guy is one of the most morally vacant, but also just least knowledgeable about these systems that we really know of. But the point is that what that means is that they're going to hit a button inevitably. They are going to hit a button and things can go sideways. We already saw that last week when they were like, oh yeah, we're going to freeze everything. That sounds so cool. Let's do that. They hit the freeze button and then Medicaid portals across the United States got suspended through that EO. And they tried to make up for it and be like, oh, that has nothing to do with all of it. Really? You're going to freeze all federal programs and then the Medicaid portal suspended and you think people are going to think that's not connected? I mean, I know they think people are stupid, but it's genuinely just be so for real right now. Anyways, so what they're trying to do is that under the guise of waste, they are going to try to cut and gut some of the most essential federal programs that we've got. In fact, how do we know this? Because the Republican majority and their budget had a sensitive internal document that got leaked a couple of weeks ago. And I can tell you that I read through it. And they identified bit by bit everything from the mortgage interest tax deduction to, which I raised a couple of weeks ago, to Medicaid itself, they have identified as wanting to eliminate in order to pay for Elon Musk's tax breaks, Jeff Bezos' tax breaks, Mark Zuckerberg's tax breaks, and other giveaways and other sorts of giveaways to the wealthiest people and corporations in this country.
So very spot on there from AOC. This guy is not smart. I do not like this idea that we just have to have some business people in government. We got to do a bit of business. We got to cut some deals and trim some fat when they don't know what they're talking about. And as I've consistently said recently, they don't know how government works until it breaks. And then once they see it broken, they kind of, and move on to the next thing, because they don't care about the people who government is supposed to serve, because they think government is supposed to serve them. Something that Joe Rogan also clearly believes, thinking government is to serve them, because he's always sticking up for his buddy Elon. And we can see that when he got mad at AOC right here.
This other thing about Elon. Elon's going to steal everybody's money. He has $400 billion. I'm telling you, he's not going to steal your money. I'm telling you, that's not what he's doing. What he's doing is he's a super genius that's been fucked with. Okay? And when you've been fucked with by these nitwits that hide behind three-letter agencies, and you're dealing with one of the smartest people alive, and he helps Donald Trump get into office, and he goes, I want to find out what kind of corruption is really around. Well, you fucked up. You fucked up and picked the wrong psychopath on the spectrum, because he's gonna hunt you down. He's gonna find out what's going on, and that's good. That's good for everybody. That's how you should be looking at this. Like, wow, we have a brilliant mind that is examining these really fucking corrupt and goofy systems, and bringing in a bunch of psychopath wizards.
Yeah, well, AOC is the one that says he's the most unintelligent person she's ever met.
Did she really say that?
She really said that.
Wow, I want to meet her friends. They're probably cool. Imagine the conversation you'd have with her friends. If he's the most unintelligent person she's ever met, wow, her friends must be amazing. I want to go to one of those parties. It's probably just like fascinating person after fascinating person.
I don't think I'm going to say that Joe Rogan is an excellent gauger of intelligence. If he's really got the dial for who's got it up here, but clearly it's not Elon, and clearly it's not him, considering that he started off that clip saying that Elon doesn't want to steal your money because he's already got tons of it. Isn't that how he got all the money in the first place, was being a greedy billionaire? Isn't that kind of his thing? Isn't that kind of the thing with all the billionaires? Oh, it is? Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. Not a shock there. And then especially when Elon continues to go after every single program that doesn't benefit him, like when he talked about Social Security right here.
Well, I mean, the government's one big pyramid scheme, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, you can tell me better than anybody.
Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
Right, explain that.
Oh, so, well, people pay into Social Security, and the money goes out of Social Security immediately, but the obligation for Social Security is your entire retirement career. So you're paying with you're paying. Like if you look at the future obligations of Social Security, it far exceeds the tax revenue. Far. Have you ever looked at the debt clock?
Yes.
Okay. There's our present day debt, but then there's our future obligations. So when you look at the future obligations of Social Security, the actual national debt is like double what people think it is, because of the future obligations. So basically people are living way longer than expected. And there are fewer babies being born. So you have more people who are retired and that live for a long time and get retirement payments. So the future obligations. So however bad the financial situation is right now for the federal government, it will be much worse in the future.
Elon Musk wants to sow doubt in the government so he can call all programs that benefit people who aren't him terrible, take them away, privatize them, and probably make some money off of it too. That is what he is about. He is a leech. He is a parasite. He has made his money by taking government subsidies and accruing no risk as he grows his companies and bringing in all the reward in hundreds of billions of dollars. That is what Elon Musk is about, and it's why AOC called him out once again in a great tweet right here. AOC wrote, "This guy is a leech on the public. No matter how many billions he gets in tax cuts and government contracts, it will never be enough for him. Now he's going after the elderly, the disabled, and orphan children so he can pocket it in tax cuts for himself. It's disgusting." Strong words that are spot on. That's the truth. Elon wants to shut down nursing homes, take money away from orphans, rob school children of a hot lunch and breakfast so he can have $100 billion more dollars because the 400 is not enough. This is a deeply disturbed person who still is dumb. He doesn't know what he's doing. We have to keep pointing that out, and Chris Murphy did right here.
True, that is not the case. What's happening at the FAA is a fundamental corruption, as you pointed out. Starlink didn't win the initial contract. Either they lost the contract because they weren't qualified or they didn't even make a bid. And the contract has been awarded. Verizon has spent a ton of money putting this system into place, and Starlink is just going to usurp the contract because Elon Musk can, and because the whole point of this enterprise is to make Elon Musk even richer. But, you know, this is a pretty important contract. Yeah, this is the FAA at a moment when planes seem to be, falling out of the sky a little bit, and the idea that we're not going to have merit, for instance, have anything to do with the most critical systems that ensure the safety of people that fly, that is absolutely. That's really scary. And so it's both corrupt and it's really dangerous. And I'm not sure that the American public are going to care that it's being done out in the open. They're going to.
So he has found a way to mix the stupidity and the incompetence with the corruption. Not only is he attacking the FAA, but he's using it to throw a couple of bucks in the pocket again. That is a perfect example. The agency in charge of making sure your plane flies and lands safely is now a tool for Elon to rant and rave about DEI while pocketing even more money. That is how he sees the government. We got to call that out. And we're doing it every single day on this show. And we have to do it in every instance that we can, because it's not just about the federal government. Elon Musk is also, and I brought this up in a previous video, now trying to buy a Supreme Court seat, the tie-breaking Supreme Court seat in the state of Wisconsin, backing the far-right extremist candidate with a 7-figure ad buy. 7 figures. But that's not going to stop Susan Crawford, who is the liberal Democratic judge running against this right-wing extremist candidate. She needs your support. I am linking materials to do so to help her campaign if you are in Wisconsin, even if you're not, and of course to donate. She's going up against the big dark money of Elon Musk. We need to step up. If you can support, all of it will be linked below. Greatly appreciate it. And of course, if you want to support this show, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.